Hello guys, and welcome to the third part of this tutorial. We already talked about basic HTML, adding text, formatting text, and today we will be talking about comments and semantics. So don't worry if our code is different, because as I told you, I will be giving you a HTML cheat sheet. So whenever I end a video, I write all the descriptions and all the definitions I told you about in my code. So now I have the definitions from all what we have learned already, and you won't, but don't worry about that and just focus on the code we are writing and the code we are focusing on. And yeah, don't worry. So let's not wait anymore and let's get right into it. Let's now keep going for the next chapter. And that chapter will be called comments, like here. So, what is a comment? A comment is this. Just use the exclamation mark and two hyphens to add a comment. So, this is a comment. As you see, nothing happened, because this is a comment. A comment is used to insert comments in the source code. Comments are not displayed in the browsers. Comments may also organize your code and make it readable for yourself and your coworkers. But how does this work? For example, you can use the thing that is that anything that is inside the comment text isn't rendered. So if you come here and put this last line about the video tag inside a comment, there you have it. It won't be rendered. So if you don't want to delete the tag, but if you want it not to be seen in a browser, you can surround it by the comment tags. And to organize your code, you can use the tags in a different way. And that is by coming here. And for example, this is a new chapter, but because an H2 occupies in the code exactly the same space as a paragraph, you can come here and make it be seen. And for example, putting it in all caps. Basic HTML. And now when you are going through your code, you will know that because this jumps to your eyes because it is in a different color, you will know that the basic HTML chapter starts there. For example, here you can add one for adding text, and now when going through the code you will see where more easily where every single chapter starts. For example, formatting text, and now nothing is changed around in the HTML page, but in your code everything changed because you can now see where every chapter is starting. Now we will start a new chapter, and this one is called Semantics. So I already have a print of a page here, and I just search for Google in Google, and here we have our page. So let's start by the beginning. Select the rectangle, so choose a color, and start. Well, the first tag is the header tag. The header tag represents a container for introductory content or a set of navigational links, and it usually contains or may contain one or more heading from H1 to H6, the logo or icon of the website, and the authorship information. So we can clearly see here the header because it has a icon, it has a set of navigational links, that is this one, these ones, still tools, and these two. And yeah, that's about it. So now we can select this whole area and say that this is the header of this Google page. Now let's see the second tag, and the second tag is the main tag. The main tag specifies the main content of a document, and its content should be unique to the document. It should not contain any content that is repeated across documents, such as sidebars, navigational links, copyright information, site logos, and search forms. So, what can we see that doesn't repeat across Google searches? That should be the rest of the page. So, let's select another color for the main tag, and we can clearly see that the main tag will cover all this area, because whenever you make a Google search, you get different results, so this never stays the same, and yeah, that's about it. Next, we have the section tag. The section tag defines sections in a document, such as chapters, headers, footers, or any other sections of the document. So let's select yet another color, for example, orange, and let's select our first section. It should be one of the results, like this. And the other result, the second one, will be this one, and it will also be a section, like this. Okay, going forward, article. The article tag specifies independent, self-contained content. An article should make sense on its own, and it should be possible to distribute it independently from the rest of the site. So, we have here a Google search, but we can clearly see something that is just a reminder of privacy. So, selecting another color, for example pink, we can say that this window here, this container here, will be a article, because it doesn't matter where you put it on the page, because it will always make sense for the privacy reminder of Google, and it will probably appear on other searches, but in this one it's inside the main tag, and it can be placed anywhere, so this will be an article. Going for another tag, this is the aside tag. The aside tag defines some content aside from the content it is placed in. The aside content should be related to the surrounding content. So we can select yet another. Let's go for blue, and another color. Let's go for blue, and we can here see this information that is precisely aside from the other information, and it is related to all the links we got and all the information we got, but it isn't really the same, so this will be identified as an aside tag. Don't worry about the names, because I'll be specifying it better in the code in our web page. And now let's go for another tag. Another tag can be the div tag. The div tag defines a division or a section in an HTML document. It is often used as a container for other HTML elements to style them with CSS or to perform certain tasks with JavaScript. So let's see where we can find a div here. We can find a div here, for example, around here. And let's select gray for the div. And this is a section. This is the main information of the section. And this can be identified as a div. It's a division. It has a different style from this one, because it has one less element, that is this one, and it has some other links different from the main contents. We can also identify here some divs. this is it. And as you can see, inside the divs there are other divs. For example, this is one div inside the div, this is another one, and here you can clearly see other 3 divisions inside the same tag div. As you may see, most of these tags occupy the whole width of the window. So, for example, the header occupies the whole width of the window. The main also occupies the whole width of the window. Here we have main divided in 2 spaces. That's this one and this one. And of those spaces, we can also see that all the tags we defined occupy the whole width of the space they are in. So we have this other tag that's called the span tag. It is used to group inline elements in a document. As you may see, the header and the main tags occupy the whole width of the screen because they have their display set to block, while the span tag is the only one that has its display set to inline. The span tag provides no visual change by itself. So you can see around here, for example, that you may have a paragraph, and then there's a button where, well, these are 2 different tags, but they are still in line. So how do you accomplish this? You can define this first one as an anchor, that is a tag we'll learn later, or as a paragraph, and then you have a button. Well, if you surround the button, let's choose another color, with the span tag, you will see that it will stay within the same line as the previous content. So this button will be our span tag in this web page. And lastly, you have the footer. The footer tag defines a footer for a document or a section. It should contain information about its containing element. Typically, it contains authorship information, copyright information, contact information, sitemap, back to top links, or related documents. Well, here, because we have the Google page cut right here, we won't be able to see a footer, but this is an easy tag to learn, so in the code I will tell you how to make one. So let's open our code, and here we have it. Let's start here and go to the top and start having some new tags. For example, we have here our website, and this is definitely the title of our website, so it should be inside a header tag, like this. After that, we have our main content. So here we should put the main content inside a main tag. We'll cover all of it. And now let's just organize our code and give it a tab right here. Yes, you will see that nothing changed, but when dealing with JavaScript and CSS, having these tags well organized will be a blessing. So let's keep on going, and after this we have our first chapter, that is basic HTML. So let's here start a new section tag, not like that, like this, section tag, and here we will have our first tag, first chapter, first section tag. I forgot to add the horizontal rules here, but now we have another chapter of adding text. So let's surround this with a article, with a section, like this. And now we don't have a lot more of things to do, but we can still come here, add another section for the one of the last chapters. Come here and give it a little tab, and now we can see that we have here some subdivisions to our chapter. That one is talking about bold, another is talking about italics, and the line content, and everything else. So here we can find a place for the div tag and surround every subchapter with the div tag. So now we have all the subchapters with a division for their own, and now we have our two last sections for the chapters that aren't inside a section yet. Like this. And now if you want to understand the last tag, that's the footer tag. The footer tag should also be out of the main tag, because its content should be or shall be repeated across a lot of pages of our own website. So let's here have a footer. And in the footer, as I said, we have authorship information, copyright information, contact information, and let's search for my address we did previously, like this, and put this inside our footer, like so. Now we can reload it, and here we have our little footer. After this I can already separate it, and there. Yeah, that's about it. Now I will put all the descriptions I told you in this chapter. I'll see you in the next part of the video. So I hoped you understood everything in this chapter, because it was an important chapter. We now know how to use comments and use semantics to our advantage in HTML5. And I will see you in the fourth video of this tutorial, where we will talk about lists and tables. So that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.